Stephmas is all about.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video in Stephmas. So today we are going to be discussing the disappearance of Sherry Lynn Marler. Sherry has been missing for a very long time, and her story was actually presented to me from a friend of mine's because a family member went on Facebook and actually gave some updates on her case because they have been diligently working to find Sherry. So we're going to be talking about her story, and this video can bring awareness to the disappearance of Sherry, and they can really find out what has happened to her. So I will have my laptop on my lap, so if you're seeing me moving around a little bit, that's why, because I really want to make sure I'm reading all the details when I get to the update from her family, because I like to give you guys facts and make sure I am presenting it correctly. So let's talk about Miss Sherry Lynn Marler. Sherry was last seen on June 6th of 1984. She was 12 years old when she went missing. Sherry is listed as 5'4", weighing 100 to 120 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She is a Caucasian female with brown hair with brown eyes. At the time of her disappearance, she was last seen wearing a red flannel shirt with jeans and gray sneakers. On June 6th of 1984, Sherry was with her stepfather. They were going to the National Bank. And at that time, Sherry wanted to get a soda, and her father gave her $1 to go get one. When he returned from the bank, Sherry was nowhere to be seen or found. No one could find her. Investigators got word that Sherry was last seen in St. Stephenson, Alabama 1 month after her disappearance. Then following that, investigators got 3 tips from 3 different witnesses that she was last seen. It didn't say where in fact she was last seen, but all 3 witnesses gave an account that she was with a 50-year-old white male. They listed in the reporting that he was a weathered complexion. I don't really know what weathered complexion is, so I'm gonna say Caucasian to white. I mean Caucasian to like light maybe. I don't know, or like I don't know, because I never heard of someone saying weathered complexion. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And yeah. And all 3 witnesses state that when they seen Sherry, she looked really in a daze. She didn't really look like herself, and she looked very unhappy. And at the time, in all 3 encounters, she was with this same individual who she called BJ. Sherry was listed as being a tomboy. You know, she really liked to work on the farm with her family, and she just really liked to have fun. Kind of reminds me of myself. I'm a tomboy and I like to have fun. Her family does not believe she would have ran away, so they do believe that someone definitely had kidnapped Sherry. So that's pretty much the details of what was listed on the Charlie Project website, where I go to get a lot of my missing person cases. So now I am going to read some of what her family has stated. And I'll probably do the thing, and they also have photos, so I will definitely be showing you guys the photos as well. So let's go. Let's get into this, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna get into I don't know if this is a family member, so I do want to backtrack on that word, because it may not be a family member. It may just be someone who also, like myself, does work, but they're doing more of the work, like actually investigating, you know, going to crime scenes and stuff like that. So I do want to backtrack. And the person's name is Ryan Welch Anderson, and I didn't click on her page. Yeah. So basically, to start it off, and what they have began in this long, detailed story, is this has been a long journey, over 10 years of trying to figure out what has happened to Sherry. And they have basically been working diligently trying to figure that out, and stating how basically Sherry's case really has not gotten any attention, or how anyone has really been trying to do the work to find her. They believe Sherry was murdered and dismembered by someone, not her stepfather, but they do believe someone had murdered and dismembered her and threw her into a hog's pen. They strongly believe it was more than one person who had something to do with the disappearance of Sherry. And they also believe that she was in a pedophile ring where she may have been pregnant at the time before she died, you know, at the time that she was deceased or whatnot. They have documented video of a dog who basically goes and looks for human remains and DNA, and both dogs have encountered that there has been some type of human remains. So I want to read you guys this paragraph because it is very detailed and I don't want to leave nothing out. So it says, in the early spring of 2017, let me put it up like this, we began digging a 10.2 art part show. We began digging in the woods that at that time we strongly suspected there was a location of a hog farm where Sherry was murdered. But we had to prove there was actually a hog farm there. First, because it was completely grown up and shoveled, and it showed no signs of a hog farm operation. We have received details from multiple sources. There was a group of us, all female. We worked so hard that day, each taking turns digging, moving concrete, debris, chopping down sticker bushes, and constantly looking for snakes. By the end of the day, we had nothing. We were all moms and everyone had to eventually leave to pick up kids from school and get ready to cook dinner / run errands, except for me and her friend Becky Cobb. I had almost lost faith. Becky broke away from me and took a break to make a phone call on the nearest dirt road. So I prayed. Then my shovel hit concrete. I yelled at her. She came running, and almost 2 hours later, we had uncovered the entire pyramid of the concrete feeding pen and an old metal doorway after digging almost my entire arm's length. We unearthed a pair of child's pants that had large, dark, splotchy stains. We spent the next hour digging up the entire area around it to make sure it wasn't trash run or part of trash dump of old clothes. There was nothing else. We followed protocol and immediately froze them, placed them in a cooler, collected all the info, notes, documentation, and turned it all over to the Butler County Sheriff Department. We assured us it would be sent to the DNA in Montgomery. Months later, I found out that the completely rotten and disintriguing, months later, she ended up finding out that basically the clothes were not tested for any DNA. They were basically sitting in a corner in a room in the courthouse, completely rotten and deteriorating. So she contacted the Greenville Police Department, who later assured that they would confiscate them, sent them to the DNA lab, but nothing could be found. I provided a photo of the pants and stains on them below. So after that, she's been sending over years, doesn't really give a time frame, from finding the pants in the courthouse, you know, keeping them away and not really testing them for any DNA. Over the years, she was constantly sending emails back and forth, trying to figure out or try to find someone who was actually Sherry's family. So after constantly going back and forth with a family member, trying to figure out if they had any photos of this hog's pen, she was able to get this person to show her photos. So she was able to meet with them and look at the photos that could potentially help her. The photos belong to the spouse of the person she believes, the person who wrote this long thing and does the detective work, believed that this was the spouse of the person who murdered Sherry, who is deceased. The person who allowed her to look at these photos never actually seen the photos. These photos were like hidden away and tucked away, so the person never really even looked at the photos. So as she was digging through these photos, she finally found one that was at the end, at the bottom of the barrel, right? And this photo was really old and it was folded. So basically this photo that she found, it looked like something to her. So she knew in that moment it was more. But so what she had to do is she wanted to send it to 6 other friends because she knew what she was looking at, but she didn't want to jump the gun to see. Because you know, your mind plays tricks on you when you want to accomplish something or you want to like really solve something. You know, we all do it, especially when we're trying to figure out things, right? So she sent it to her peers who were also in the forensic world, and they all said the same thing. I'm gonna read it from here because I don't want to make sure. So basically, the photo was a severed head, human head, the whole head, not a decomposed head or a skull, on the ground below a young hog. eyes and mouth wide open, hair still in place on the head. So after that, she decided to hold on to the photo. She did not release that photo just yet because she really wanted to confirm with one of those, you know, specialty dogs to see if in fact there were human remains in that spot where this photo was actually taking place. And she went through 2 different dogs so that she can really try to make sure this is in fact what she had seen, or, you know, from the photo. Then you're actually going to the crime scene to make sure this was where, you know, Sherry most likely was. And 2 dogs confirmed that there were human remains. Excuse me. So she went to the police station. And this is where she decided to show police the actual photo. Though it almost got her in trouble because she didn't turn it over sooner, as it is evidence. But she had every right to do so because she was so afraid that what happened to the pants would have happened to the photo, which is understandable. When you're really trying to, and you feel like you're on the right path of solving something, and then police don't even do their jobs, or whoever doesn't do their jobs, I can honestly understand why she didn't turn over the photo. Even if, or what she should have did is just did a, you know, got a photocopy of it and turned it over. But then they would have asked where's the original. So the thing about this is though, the sheriff department tells her that they send the photo to FBI. Thank goodness she's working diligently on this case. That photo was never sent to FBI because she double checked with FBI. It's like, are they hiding something? As I'm reading this, it was like, are they hiding something, or do they know what in fact happened to Sherry? Sometimes you can't trust these police officers. I'm not saying all of them bad, but there's a few missing screw ones up in there that mess with young children. Trust me. So she gets to the end of her detailed paragraphs, basically saying that she's at the end. She doesn't know what else to do. You know, she can't really dig during the rain, hunting season. So she's kind of like at her wit's end, and they don't know what else to do because they have come this far in this case and no one is really trying to help them, like police officers and stuff like that. You know, she even says like she knows this is an old case, but she has worked so hard to get to this point that she just wants some help. She just wants some help to really figure out if in fact this is Sherry. That's pretty much what she wrote. And then I'm gonna upload these photos. So the photo you're seeing right now is of the brown pants that they found. Really tell those are pants. Someone wrote on her picture that they're burlap sacks, but you can see the waist trim. And this right here, this one here, from what I'm trying to read, it is a faded plaid wooden fabric elastic band and lengths of, yeah. And this photo is, I believe, the picture that she said was folded with the pig in the head. I'm really trying to see. I can't really tell. I don't know. I can't really tell, you guys. I'm really trying to like look at it. I'm trying to even turn the brightness up on my computer to see. Really can't tell because of the photo. Like, I think if I see the photo in person, maybe, but I really cannot tell. But nonetheless, I do feel that it's a shame that the police officers weren't really trying to help. I get they have so many other missing person cases, but I really do hope that they figure out if in fact that is Sherry. I know that they said that they can't really do a lot of digging due to the grounds. So I really do hope that they can complete this story because it has been so long. You know, she would be like 40 some years old. So this case is really long. You know, she went missing at 12 years old, and the way technology, the way the world has evolved since 1984, it's crazy. You know, all I can do is just share their stories and just pray that there will be some new information that comes about, because maybe someone's seen Sherry. Maybe someone has been holding in on some details. This happens a lot, where people hold on a lot of details to old cases and they wait till their last dying breath to speak up and say something. Someone's seen Sherry. Someone knows what happened to that poor baby, and hopefully they get the courage to say something. So, whew. You know, because I don't even know if her family's still alive or whatnot, you know. But that is pretty much Sherry Lynn Marler's story. Again, she went missing June 6, 1984, and she has not been seen yet. She has not been seen since. And, you know, you have these amazing women trying to figure out what in fact happened to her, because of course the local police officers and stuff don't care. But again, they have a lot going on, which doesn't substitute the reasoning, but I really do hope that they figure out what in fact has happened to her. So until tomorrow, guys, I will see you.